Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be talking about today's new moon. We have a new moon present in a zodiac sign of Scorpio, bringing us a really intense, passionate and transformative energy that can help you so much on so many different things we'll be talking today about. I want to give you 5 things how to focus this energy in the next few days, as during this time we already are very well supported. So firstly, the Sun, Moon and Mars are all in Scorpio, indicating a strong emphasis on Scorpio's qualities. And usually in an individual's personality, when it comes to Scorpio's energy, it awakens emotional sensitivity. But at the same time, it makes us feel everything a bit intensified, but at the same time we are resilient to anything that may be experienced as negative. That's why Scorpio's energy is so important when it comes to personal transformation, because it helps to see and look and feel whatever we feel and whatever we are going through more objectively. That's what it can help you right now so much. If you're reflecting on your life, you can notice that things are not how you thought they are, like childhood trauma, for example. You maybe are in the process right now where you're gaining a lot of clarity around your past. And maybe some things from the past are repeating only to be more objective around it and to notice, well, what I was afraid in the past is not so scary actually. All these triggers are actually not so heavy if I'm more objective, right? In the Tao Te Ching, there are few principles that are really incredible when it comes to what we're talking today about. These principles are talking about seeking simplicity. Seek simplicity. Grasp the essentials. Overcome selfishness and wasteful desires. Those are the principles from Tao Te Ching. And when we look at these present times, this is something to embody, right? And yesterday we've been talking about Dharma, which is a law of nature. In present time, many people call this law of nature as law of attraction. You get more of who you are. And in ancient times, they called it karma. And karma is a law that makes sure that whatever you do today will bring you to the results of your action. But action is not started with the movement of your body, but actually with the movement within your mind. When you act with an intention, that's how you're making results. And when it comes to the energy of Scorpio, it comes to a deep reminder that everything you are experiencing today is because of something you did in the past or in the past life. Not to be a victim of what's happening to you, but rather to be an observer of it and recognize how to take the most from it, right? How to take the most from it. And with intensity, passion, and inspiration for transformation, you can easily create something really, really incredible out of it. Like an artist who was deeply depressed in the past and started making music as a form of healing. We can find it in many hip-hop songs, right? Where artists are using their own depression, their own pain to heal themselves through music, through writing, through rapping, through singing, right? So Scorpio is known as the alchemist of the zodiac, transforming pain into power. And that's how you may feel right now. You're in the phase where you're transforming pain into power. And sure, power can be used for negative and positive. It depends again of the intention. But once we understand this law of Dharma, the law of nature, that supports anything that helps nature to expand, and nature is based on this compassionate connection, right? It means that if you work with compassion, you will create more connections in your life. If you work with love, you will create higher forms of connection or greater quality of connection. Like if you bring love into your relationships, you will notice that relationship starts growing, expanding, and deepening. That's what Scorpio is really good at. I know a few people who are Scorpios, and they're emotionally sensitive, but they are really loving. Like with them, you can have deep conversations about life, not so much about complex things, but rather about, general life and life stories, personal stories, depth, emotional depth, and simplicity. I love those conversations. And Scorpio is all about that. And when something goes wrong, they may become more intense because they want to make the most out of any kind of relationship, out of any kind of situation. And this is what this new moon is really encouraging you to do. To go deep into your present situation, but stay objective. Don't react to what is happening, because your present situation is nothing else but a reflection of your past actions. Remember, karma works really interestingly. It's like a habit. It has a momentum. And that momentum is just leading you into the direction of its action. And when you want to take it into a new direction, let's say maybe you can find yourself being in poverty and you've decided to experience a life of abundance. Now you're wondering, okay, how to shift my karma into the direction of abundance. And that's where you start working with abundance. If you want to create abundance in your life, you have to start wondering what abundance needs, what what abundant people are doing, right? What rich people are doing, what are their core actions, what are their daily habits, what are their daily thoughts and belief systems around prosperity, around abundance. And then you start reflecting how to implement it in your life, and you come to the phase where you have to cross the river of change, right? And that crossing is painful and unpleasant. But Scorpios are really good at crossing that river because they love to transform pain into power. They love to draw energy from pain and turn it into power. So Scorpio can demonstrate this story of a phoenix. That's why often they associate Scorpios with the phoenix. That's why I'm playing to you today a painting of the phoenix. So what are 5 things to focus on during this time? Well, firstly, if you do some self-reflection and shadow work, it's something that will be really, really helpful at this time, and you're really supported. And for the shadow work, if you're not familiar with it, you can Google it and you will find many maybe prompts for journaling or for deep introspection. But shortly, you can wonder, what are your triggers? What are the things you don't like in other people? What are the behaviors of others that make you feel stressed and angry and make you feel like you have to judge them? And reflect on those things, because that is not natural. Those are not natural behaviors. Those are conditioned behaviors. And your job is to transform them, as Scorpio wants to transform these behaviors to become more natural. And natural is authentic. And authentic is whatever feels the most natural, right? So, self-reflection, introspection, meditation, and any practice that allows you to go deeper into yourself, like yoga, for example, when you do certain poses and you experience pain when you're stretching muscles, and with your breath, then you travel into those painful areas, you're going deeper into yourself. Any kind of a practice that allows you to go deeper into yourself is really helpful and really supportive and will intensify healing at this point. So be really conscious with that. And in the next few days, you have like open doors to go deeper into yourself. And what you will find out in these days will help you so much in the next weeks and in the next months to level up and to progress on your journey. The second thing is to set intentions when it comes to your personal power. Why is it important? Well, because Jupiter, Uranus, and Ascendant is in the zodiac sign of Taurus, which gives us strong earthly influence to present energy. So Taurus is associated with earthly qualities, material pursuits, and sensuality, especially when it comes to groundedness. So whatever grounds you, whatever senses helps you to ground yourself. Like for example, when you come out of meditation and you're still a bit maybe dreamy, and then you eat some chocolate, for example, where you experience this intense sensation of something pleasant, something familiar, and something nice. That's what Taurus usually likes. So because of this influence, you may be inspired to also work on the things that make your grounded life incredible. For example, if you're valuing stability and you enjoy pleasures of life and you seek maybe tangible and lasting outcomes in whatever you do, this energy can support you so much to find necessary clarity around actionable plans and goals for your future. So if you're daydreaming a little bit about your financial goals, about your relationship goals, about how to build a stronger pillar of stability in your life, it's a great time to do it. But grasp the essential. Overcome selfishness. Don't do that just for yourself. I know self-love comes to yourself. It's for yourself, right? And you have to take care of yourself, especially if you've been really hurt in the past and kind of pushed away. Well, take care of yourself. But never do those things just for yourself, out of anger or fear or frustration. Notice that all growth, all personal growth, leads to the growth of collective consciousness. It's about contribution, and that's where law of karma comes into play. When you start doing things for the contribution of society, for the growth of other individuals, a magical momentum starts happening. You step into Dharma. You don't do things just for yourself. You do things for yourself because you have deep intention that eventually what you're learning, you want to help those who don't know how to move through what you're moving through right now. And that's how you step into Dharma and you experience a sense of purpose. Sure, you don't experience it immediately, but if you just look for it, if you feel inspired to overcome any kind of a challenge in your life, because one day you want to be helpful for someone else as well, you are working on overcoming selfishness. And it will also help you to grasp the essentials. And if you seek simplicity, we all, at some point in our depth of the soul, of our beingness, we seek simplicity. Anything that doesn't come from simplicity is kind of poisoning us, and we feel like something is not being natural, like we're not really authentic. Authenticity comes out of simplicity. We recognize you can't make up a character. Sure, it can help you for a certain period of time, but the real character will emerge out of your soul beingness, and that will happen through phases of purification and healing. It's not something that you're making up, right? Like reading some self-help books and suddenly you experience this made-up confidence that can only be felt while you're feeding it. Like when you're reading a book, you feel confident. When you stop reading a book, you forget about this information and you don't feel confident anymore. It's a made up confidence that is not really sustainable. The real sustainable confidence comes out of healing, out of purification, out of simplicity. When you recognize you don't need much to be okay, which doesn't mean you don't need to have an abundant lifestyle, but you don't need to be attached to an abundant lifestyle. Doesn't matter what you have, you can be okay with that. You can build great things, but not just for yourself, but for a sense of service. That's something really important. And when it comes to setting intentions for personal power, that's something to think about. So take time and set intentions for your personal power. What makes you feel powerful? What kind of skills you want to develop? Or what kind of knowledge you want to expand? That's what makes you more powerful, right? It's important because we all are powerful beyond measures, but we don't know that we are because we are not studying ourselves. So you need to study yourself to recognize how incredible you are. Somebody may say to you, hey, you're really, you're constantly daydreaming. What's wrong with you? But if you would meet a really successful artist, that artist would say to you, oh, you have such an incredible talent. You're not plugging into the programs of society. You're rather daydreaming, right? So from one side, you can see something as a gift that from the other side, it looks like a curse. And personal power comes to seeing yourself from the right perspective, and that's powerful. The third thing to focus on is to explore your passions and desires. Just simply explore what you're passionate about, what you've been passionate about in the past, where those passions are taking you, what are desires behind them, and just focus more on it. It will help you so much to make your life more meaningful, more incredible, more interesting. Because passion is a fiery energy that just transforms anything that comes in touch with it, right? That's why everyone who's a part of AttractPassion community is constantly transforming, right? Anyone who has my art is constantly transforming because it's made with passion, with love, with great care, and love for wisdom. I'm a philosopher. I have a great love for wisdom. So that's what we get, right, when we start working with passion. The fourth thing I want to bring you here and invite you into to work with this energy is to embrace depth in relationships, in any relationship you have in your life. Well, maybe certain narcissistic, those are the ones where your inner depth will say to you, hey, it's time to let go of them. It's time to, you deserve so much more. So always listen to that inner depth where intuition speaks the loudest. But at the same time, to embrace depth in relationships means that we start, digging deeper, like who you truly are. When whoever is around you, know those people a little bit better because they're not there by any coincidence or they're not there just for nothing. All relationships in our lives have bigger meaning. And a great thing happens once we recognize that meaning. And I just want to encourage you. This is a time where you may have many deep conversations, and if it happens to you, really appreciate that intimacy, appreciate that trust that is fostering during this time, because you're building something great with those people, something really deep. And not often we find ourselves being maybe capable or having an opportunity to build those deep conversations. And right now is a great time. Maybe old people or people from your old life are coming back into your life because there's something unresolved, or because maybe you're getting a second chance, or whatever is happening. Just reflect a little bit on it, journal a little bit around it, because you will notice that maybe a certain person that's a part of your life has actually a big meaning when it comes to your purpose. Like, I know my first job, I had a boss who was really intelligent and interesting, and I've noticed that he was like my mentor later in my life. I've noticed I've learned so much from that person that even later on my other jobs, I could still apply lessons from that person. He taught me so much about how to work with finances, how to look on money, and how to maintain relationships. So many interesting life lessons. And he was nothing else but my boss at that job. But you know, each person has much bigger meaning than we think. Sometimes our spirit guides can be actually manifested in people around us, and we need to notice everything as it's meant to be. And the last thing I want to remind you, if you want to work with this energy really productively, is to harness the energy of action. Planet Mars is in Scorpio, and there's a really potent energy for action. If you direct this energy toward your goals and whatever you may feel ambitious about, and if you have strategic plans for actions, you will be really supportive. Many new doors may open up, and again, you may start experiencing synchronicities and these events that are just, happening at the right time. So I hope you found something valuable here. Know that this new moon is opening doors for you. It started today, but this transformative and intense, passionate energy will be present in the next few days. So the next 3 days will be the most intense. Use it wisely. Take time, reflect on it, write down what you've learned. Also, write some gratitude in the comment section. Let's raise some energy in the comments. Thank you so much, and thanks to everyone for supporting my art in our Etsy store, I Draw My Passion. You're all truly appreciated. So my friends, I love you all. Stay beautiful, stay creative. Until next time, one love.